so Ed's going to be answering all the questions this evening for that race.
Can I get a rebuttal?
You can rebut yourself. Okay, first question, Mr. Carter. During a recent visit to the Faith Sellers Senior Center by Lieutenant Governor Glenn McConnell, he was asked about raffles in South Carolina being against the law. How do you feel about repealing the law that prohibits charities, nonprofits, and churches from conducting raffles to raise funds because raffles are considered gambling?
I think the gambling laws are absolutely ridiculous. I'm a long-term member of Rotary, and I remember a few years back when the Charleston Rotary was going to have a casino night to raise money for charity, and they were notified by the Attorney General that they'd be arrested if they did, and I think that's absolutely ridiculous. I think the laws need to be changed so that charities in good faith can raise money.
This was some of these questions were sent in by readers of the Journal Scene or people that had seen this, and this is one of those. By 2050, it is estimated that the number of Americans 85 and older will nearly quadruple to 21 million. With Alzheimer's disease and other dementia cases growing with this population, what can the state do to deal with this terrible disease?
I don't think I'll be around in 2050. But it is, the aging of the population is a very growing issue. And when you look at Medicaid, in some cases, is the only hope for some of the seniors by selling off everything they own so they can draw Medicaid. I think the state needs to address it now. I was at the senior center when Lieutenant Governor McConnell was there, and we addressed the issue, talked with Faith about it, and he's very concerned, and I think he has a program to look across the state and see what we can do in the future to help alleviate that for the seniors.
Should the state increase the gas tax to pay for road improvements?
Infrastructure improvements, schools, roads, those are all needed. The $64,000 question is how do you fund them? I think we need to reform DOT first and foremost. I do not advocate an increase in the gas tax right now, the economy the way it is. I think we need to look at the state budget and in a lot of cases allocate the money to what the original purpose that those taxes were allocated for back to. And I think we need to simplify our tax structure, be it a flat tax, be it a fair tax, whatever. And we also need to look at how we're going to do the roads. And I think the money's probably there. We just need to reallocate it.
Describe one specific concrete accomplishment of yours and explain how that shows you will be effective on behalf of your constituents.
Well, I think the thing I'm most proud of recently is bringing Big Red back to the Citadel. We discovered our flag had been lost to history and found it was in the Iowa Museum. It's a long story, but it's a great story about history and about icons. And this flag is probably as important as the Huntley. And I chaired the committee. I was originally the president of the Alumni Association when it was first discovered. Then no good deed goes unpunished, so I got to chair the committee to bring it back. And we did. And it's on display down in the Alumni Center at the Citadel. And I encourage all of you to go look at it, but I'm very proud of that. And in fact, the General Assembly presented me with a resolution because of that.
Do you think that Dorchester District 2 and 4 should be consolidated?
That's up to the school boards. That's why you elect school boards to do that. That's not a state issue with me. When District 2 chairman of the board, the District 4 chairman of the board, pick up the phone and call me and say, we just unanimously voted to combine the school districts, I'll help them. Until that time, that's a school issue.
What can the state do to attract industrial investment?
We need to look at our tax structure. We've got the highest manufacturer's tax rate in the nation, not in the South, in the nation. And we need to look at comprehensive tax reform and structure it so that it is business friendly and we can attract manufacturing and industry back to South Carolina. But we got to have a level playing field to do that with our surrounding states. And right now it is not a level playing field. So we need to address that, need to address shovel-ready sites and industrial parks, because quite honestly, the CRDA and economic development will tell you that if you don't have a shovel-ready site, they won't even come to your state and take a look. You won't even be in consideration. So several things there we need to address.
Okay. With Dorchester County now having approximately a dozen representatives, how will you work with the rest of the legislative delegation to ensure Dorchester isn't neglected at the state level?
Well, you know, you have weighted voting based on the way it's gerrymandered. that you have some people that have very little voice within the county, and some that have a large voice within the county. They're also separate parties, separate philosophies. So you've got to do everything you can to find common ground and work towards a resolution so that you can bring better things to Dorchester County for the residents.
Well, I'm a terrible moderator because I didn't give you your opening statement. We're at the end of the questions for
So
you.
I'll do my closing
So
statement.
you can do your opening and closing as one big statement. How's that sound?
Well, I'd just like to say thank you very much, Ellen, and the Journal Scene, and Rita, and the Chamber for putting this on this evening. I really wish my opponent were here so we could identify the differences in the issues between us. But most importantly, I want to thank you all for coming out tonight because it shows me that you care about who represents you at the county and the state level and the school board, and I think that's important. Too many people don't understand the issues, too many people don't understand the candidates, and they vote blindly, and I think that's not the way that we should be doing things. Now, I will tell you this, I'll make you this promise, if you elect me as City of Columbia, I promise you that I will represent you in the most professional manner possible. One, if you call me and I don't answer that phone, I will return your call within 1 day. If you email me, I will answer that email within 1 day. And I'll tell you this, you won't have to ask another representative outside the district to write the letter for you to DOT to get a turn lane at Parsons Road and Central Avenue, because I'll write the letter, because I'll be the representative of the district. And you won't have to ask another representative to do that. Thank you very much, and good night.
Thank you, Mr. Carter.